There was cocaine in the maple syrup.
Horror movies, mutilation, decapitation, torture. Does that sound entertaining? More blood than a blood bank. Have we got your attention?
Welcome back, extraterrestrials, to the X-Files franchise breakdown. In this episode, we're doing Beyond the Sea. That's episode 13 from season 1. The plot line is Scully believes that the psychic predictions of a death row inmate are the only hope in apprehending a vicious murderer. This episode is packed with a lot of things.
Yes, it is.
Not only is there a murderer who is having premonitions from another murderer, and he's helping the FBI for a deal to lessen his sentence off death row to just life in prison. They kind of breeze over the fact that Dana's dad dies in this episode.
Yeah.
And it's involved in the episode, but it's not a heavy thing in the episode. But in this episode, we see Brad motherfucking Dorff. Love this dude. Love this character. I wish he was in the show continuously. They play him like a Hannibal type character. Mm-hmm. Vicious murderer who's just wheeling and dealing to try and save his own life. But he fucking nails this role.
Don't underestimate my fear of dying, and don't downplay my terror going back to that chair. I know my hell's gonna be going back to that chair over and over again for all the time, but in this life, my one and only life, I don't ever want to go back again, ever!
He nails the character. It's so good.
Yeah. Everything Brad Dorff does in this episode is great. Mm-hmm. Mulder is great in this, even though he's the one that gets laid up this time.
Yeah. And
another really moment that I really like about this episode is the belief, how come it takes Scully this long to finally believe in these crazy ass things that happen around her.
I mean, that's because she isn't the one laid up for once. Yeah. She's the one that's actually interacting. Like, she actually gets to see it.
Yeah.
And Mulder is the one going, no, it's not real. Don't believe it. Yeah, aliens are real. Yeah, monsters are real. But this guy's not psychic.
Yeah, this guy's an asshole.
Yeah. And in this episode, a couple of the firsts that we see is not only Mulder gets severely injured, by far the biggest injury so far this season between the two of them. He's severely injured. He's laid up in the hospital. We see the roles reversed with her being the believer, him being the skeptic. We also see Dana's anger, her extreme rage.
You set us up. You're in on this with Lucas Henry. This was a trap for Mulder because he helped put you away. Well, I came here to tell you that if he dies because of what you've done, 4 days from now, nobody will stop me from being the one that'll throw the switch and gas you out of this life for good, you son of a bitch!
That's a first that we see. It's a lot of firsts in this episode. It's kind of like they turned the series on its head and was like, here you go. This is the opposite of everything you expect.
And we learn a little bit of information. We learn that Scully has this dual nature where she didn't stay in medicine. She went to the FBI, and her dad seems kind of down about it or something. I don't know. They don't play it very well, but you can tell it's there. There's a couple of comments that are made, which make the episode even better, because now it's like, okay, we're planting seeds for trees to grow later kind of deal. And I just... everything about this episode is I had a great time watching this.
Yeah.
I had Probably of the X-Files, this would probably be on the top 5. This would definitely be one of my top
Over
5.
the series of the...
If I were to go from series 1 to whatever and stuff, wherever it ends, this would probably be one of my top 5 episodes. I don't know where in the...
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because it's got great FBI work. Mm-hmm. And I mean, if it wasn't for the Brad Dourif character being able to, have that clairvoyancy kind of deal, it would be just a straight FBI episode, just trying to Hannibal Lecter him, basically. So, is there anything that you didn't like about this episode?
I didn't really care for the killer because they focus so much on Brad Dourif's character, Luther Lee Boggs, that you don't learn almost anything. Like, you learn the bare minimum about the other killer. Mm-hmm. I didn't like his character, and I didn't care, again, because there was no story behind it. I didn't care about the people he kidnapped. There was no, like, well, he's a jock and she's the prom queen. Like, there was nothing about these people. They were just names to me, and I don't care about names. I need to know the character. Yeah. I need to know the background. I need to be able to relate to the character, and there was none of that. Yeah. So,
like, my only complaint, which, like I said, it doesn't take me out of the episode, was at the end when Mulder almost seemed like he set Dana up to believe, where he was kind of like chastising her, like, why didn't you go, or why didn't you believe what he was saying and stuff, or something like that. And Dana has to be like, I can't just blindly believe everything that comes my way, or something to that effect. Like, right at the end, it feels almost like Mulder, you're the one that was going through the whole episode being like, don't believe him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And then all of a sudden at the end, he kind of like, well, why didn't you go to the death row and stuff to see him? It's just like a fun FBI episode that really makes you start to understand that these characters of Fox and Dana are not just FBI. They're actual people.
Right.
They have real lives. They have real experiences outside of the FBI and stuff. And sometimes that can affect their FBI work and stuff,
Yeah, well, we saw that with the bitch from Scotland Yard. But also, we're worshiping Satan today by the cloak hood on Jerry's head.
I didn't know. Yeah, it's like, I got my hoodie on and stuff. It's chilly.
But yeah. So what was your favorite part of the episode?
The beginning where Brad Dourif, like when we first meet him and stuff, he's just crying, and it doesn't even like
he cries through the whole episode.
Yeah,
he's always like doing this like, well, crybaby, fucking just tear running down his face. Like, I don't understand, but okay.
But it doesn't seem like, okay, can we cut? Okay, let me have a little bit of the Vicks Vapor Rub. Okay, I'm crying again. Roll. Yeah. No, it feels like he's worked himself up to that point.
He's that good of an actor.
Fuck right. Yeah, it just feels like, he has put himself in so much of an emotion. Mm-hmm. Then another thing that I really like too, I wanted to know, they gave him that piece of blue fabric, and Brad Dourif was in Blue Velvet. Mm-hmm. And Dennis Hopper, the main character, or one of the main characters in that movie, does similar things with Blue Velvet, a square Blue Velvet that he does in there. I wonder if it was kind of like an homage to his role in Blue Velvet.
I didn't think about that, but yeah. And there you have it, Beyond the Sea, X-Files. So there you have it, Beyond the Sea, Brad Dourif, killer episode. Definitely check this one out. It is fucking awesome. Cannot speak highly enough of Brad Dourif. So I would say if you didn't like this episode, tell us why. But you like this episode.
Yeah, you like this.
Like there's no discussion.
And if you didn't like the episode, click the unsubscribe button. Click the unfriend button.
That. We can't afford that.
Fuck out of
we can't afford that right now. We can't afford that.